Hi everyone, Simon here from Sterling Coaching, and today I realised that my theme for this month with the groups that I'm working with is scale and choice, and how I use my formula for over 30 years of being in business of making more money to get more time to get more choice. That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video, that formula. See you in a moment. Now, one of the things when I had my construction business was that I focused on something very, very different to most of my competitors and most other people in the construction industry. Now, don't get me wrong, I think every business focuses on profit and net profit, but that was my obsession. Everything had to contribute towards the bottom line. If something was a drain on overheads or on gross margin, then we quickly made different decisions of what we did. And that's where my formula came in. So whatever business that I had, and I ran several businesses at the same time, as I ran those multiple businesses, what I realized was that I was achieving freedom, but not financial freedom. Yes, that came to an extent, but what I did have was the ultimate freedom, and that was freedom of choice. The choice of what I did in the morning, what I did each day, what I did, where I traveled, where I went. And of course, there are lots of different things that contribute to that ability to have that freedom of choice. So when people talk about scale, people very often think about growth. So whilst other construction businesses in particular around me were chasing the revenue and chasing the growth, looking for more people to deliver that revenue, I focused on making growth, but not at the expense of net profit. Scale for me and my business was about generating revenue, but also about generating profit. I just realised microphone's a mile away, so I'm sorry if I sounded like I was in a bathroom somewhere. So yeah, it was always, that formula always had to be, how much revenue can I generate? What's my gross margins? Keeping my overheads to the right level, because it's not about cutting costs to generate net profit. Sometimes you have to spend to generate net profit, but it was always focusing on net profit in every area of business. Because one of the things, if you want to have choice, then you can't chase the revenue, because usually when you chase the revenue, you lose focus on profit and net profit plummets. And actually what you want is net profit to increase, because if you want choice, that costs cash. Okay, so the first thing is, of course, you've got to generate the revenue. You've got to know your figures. You've got to know your numbers. I knew all my numbers. I knew my sales revenues week by week. I knew my overheads. I know my gross margins. I know my fixed expenses. And I'm saying no because I'm talking about it because I still do it in my coaching business now. And I do this with all of my clients, because when you know your numbers and you stop focusing just on revenue, but really focus on net profit, then what you find is you get that balance of choice between the money that you make and the time that you have to spend it. And that is where choice happens. When you're starting to distinguish, I'm making the money, I'm getting the time, and I'm getting that balance right. And this isn't work-life balance, that's of course included, but when we get that balance of money and time right, then we have choice. And we can make choices about what we do with our personal lives, what we do with our business, how we contribute, how we give to other people. It might be charity work, it might be giving time to good causes, perhaps it's your industry that you're giving time back to. And of course, it's what you take from it as well. There is nothing wrong with taking money, taking holidays, and having nice things as well. So I really want to focus on just one part of my freedom formula. The busier my business has got, the more they scaled. Okay, and make sure you know the difference between scale and growth. Growth isn't everything. Other people that I knew were growing and then they were making less money, less net profit than I was, and therefore it was holding them back. So we want to make sure in the freedom formula we're not focusing on the revenue so much, we're focusing on net profit with a passion and an enthusiasm, and we want everything to contribute towards that net profit. And then when we get that net profit and that time, then once we get those two together, that contributes towards that freedom formula. Now, of course, there's 5 steps to my freedom formula, and I share those with all the people in the group coaching program that I have. If you would like to know more about any of my group programs, I'm taking new cohorts into both the group I have for businesses, ambitious businesses, and also for the group that is for business coaches, whether you're a startup coach or whether you're a coach that wants to break through $10,000-$15,000 a month and then go beyond. Wherever you are, I've got a group for you and a group for businesses as well. Just grab some time with me at the bottom there just to discover a little bit more about each other. Don't worry about the naming of the scheduler. It literally is just a discovery call, just to have an informal chat to see if we're a good fit. This freedom formula and this focus on profit and getting that balance so that you can have time and you can have choice, that's really important to me. And that's really important part of my mission to help every single business, every single coach, every single person that I speak to get closer and closer to that freedom of choice. That's what I want to do. So please share it. Please like this. Please pass the message on wherever you're watching this video. I hope that you've not got those double subtitles on there and you saw the message on the start screen, because I do add subtitles to this because some platforms don't, but some platforms do. So anyway, take some time, focus on your net profit and start working towards that scale and that choice. When 2 of those come together, then that is freedom, and that's freedom of choice, where you can make some amazing decisions and live an amazing balance of work and life. A balance that you choose, not that's imposed upon you. As always, I will see you in a couple of weeks' time, actually, because I'm off to Italy for a weekend this coming weekend. So you won't get a Monday's Moment in a week's time, but you will see some posts from me during this week, and I'm sure I'll get something up next week when I return from Italy. Perhaps some lessons that I learned from my visit to Florence. As always, drop some comments, drop some messages below, share this with whoever you can, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Be successful and have that freedom of choice. Bye for now.